We know now what's meant by life purpose, how to determine your own life purpose score. We know that it's pretty rare to have strong life purpose in the United States, that there's strong evidence that having strong life purpose leads to longer lifespan, less health problems. We understand how this happens, both physiologically and behaviorally. But are we just kind of assigned a life purpose score and good or bad, there's nothing we can do about it? Absolutely not. I work with thousands of patients, and many of them have challenges to identifying a strong life purpose, and I'm able to help them achieve strong life purpose with the tips I'm about to share with you. Here we go. I think the biggest problem is that people think of life purpose as like a religious question, like, why am I on this earth? They think about Darwin and evolution and the fact that there is no objective purpose, perhaps, they believe. And so they think life is basically meaningless, no purpose whatsoever. And if you get into a general question about purpose, it is a lot harder to answer if you don't have a specific religion you believe in. I recommend rephrasing the question. So you're not asking what's the purpose globally in my life, but ask yourself, what's my purpose right now? It's hard to identify and act on your existential life purpose. It's much easier to define the question as one of for the present moment. What's my purpose right now? Why am I making this video? What's my purpose in front of this patient? Why am I here to be their doctor? What's my purpose in the kitchen making this meal or reading this book or with this weekend or this morning or this afternoon or in this relationship? The point is that if you ask it locally and in the present, it's a lot easier to identify your purpose for that moment. So first of all, I recommend scaling down the question to the present moment, to what can actually be your purpose for this moment. And then use some techniques that I've learned from this excellent book called Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. I highly recommend you read it. He has studied people who achieve optimal experience across all walks of life, from chess players to mountain climbers to assembly line workers. He has identified people who have optimal experience in their lives, and he's found common characteristics whereby individuals are able to attain optimal experience in their day-to-day, moment-to-moment existence. And he starts with this idea of purpose. How can I define a challenge for myself in this moment? And the trick is to find something where your skills are matched to the challenge. If the challenge is too great, you get stressed out. If the challenge isn't great enough, you get bored. And also, the final key component of structuring these goals for yourself is having a mechanism whereby the challenge gives you feedback, so you know each step of the way how you're doing. Let's take an example. Television watching. Is there a clear purpose when you watch television? Not exactly. There is really nothing you have to do except sit there. Is there a challenge? Not exactly. Maybe not falling asleep. Is there feedback? Do you know how you're doing? No, not at all. The television really doesn't care about you. Let's compare that with tennis. What's the challenge? Get the ball over the net. Hopefully you're matched with against a player who is close to your skill level. If they are too good, you're going to feel anxious. If they're terrible or much worse than you, you'll feel bored by the game. You'll get optimal experience if you're playing against someone who is about at your ability, where the challenge that you have meets the skills that you bring to the table. And finally, you get immediate feedback. If the ball doesn't go over the net, you know that you're not doing well. If it does go over the net, you know you are doing well. So two ways of spending your time watching television and playing tennis. One gives you purpose, challenge, and feedback. The other, not so much. There are other proven ways in the medical literature to strengthen life purpose. Therapy is a great way, talking with someone to identify your underlying purpose. If you're interested in therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy has the most evidence going for it. You can find a therapist by going to your health insurance website and finding out who's in network. You can also check out this link, which I provide in the resource section of this lesson. This link takes you to current reviews of therapists seen by my patients. Most of these therapists are based in San Francisco, but they're also doing telehealth, so you may very likely be able to see one of them even if you don't live in San Francisco. Meditation. Meditation is a highly effective way of strengthening life purpose and is proven in the literature. I find some apps to be great ways of meditating. Calm and Insight Timer are currently my favorite ones. And volunteering. Volunteering actually reduces risk of premature death. That's been studied independently. But in addition, improves a person's sense of purpose. They feel energized. They feel they have a goal. They feel like they're doing something that matters.